Hello, year six. Hope all of you are doing so well. And in today's video, we're going to talk about area and parameter. We already talked about this online before, and we also discussed it in class. So today, I'm just going to summarize it to you in a video to remind you in case you need help with anything. So here's the first thing, area. What's the meaning of area? As we agreed before, area is the space inside a shape. It's how much a shape can take inside. There is a rule to find the area, but sometimes they don't give you a measurement and they just give you here just like square grid. They give you like squares inside the shape. So they want to know how much this shape can take inside. So as you see here, here of course I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 6. And the area here, we're just gonna simply write it is 6 centimeters squared. Of course, you know how to write the squared. The area is always squared. The unit is always squared. Okay, but what about the triangle over here, Mr. Ahmed? Let's count how many squares are inside it. All right, let's count here. I have one whole square here. But what about this? Is it a whole one? No, it's a half. So it's 1.5. And I have another half. So 1.5, 2. That's it. So here it is just 2 centimeters squared. This is how we find the area. All right, is this everything about the area? Not really, but let's just take it step by step. Okay, what about the parameter, mister? So now we learned about the area that it is how much space is there inside a shape. The parameter it says is the distance around the shape. So here I see around this shape. Here, how many? Oh, mister, they didn't tell us, they didn't write. Yes, but they gave you squares. Please remember this. So here I have 3, mister. Okay, thank you. And what about this? This side. So parameter is adding the length of all the sides. Again, parameter is adding the length of all the sides. Okay, so what about this, mister? It's here 1, 2 squares. So it's 2. All right. Mister, this is just the same as this. It's 2, and of course, this one here is also the same exactly like the 3, so it's just 3. All right, so here I'm going to write 3. Parameter is the distance around a shape, so add the length of all the sides. 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, which is going to give you 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. Squared, mister? No. Squared is only the area. Squared is only the area, but the parameter is just centimeters. All right, good, okay. What about the other rectangle over here? They didn't give us squares as you see inside the rectangle. Instead of this, they give you here measurements. So here I have 7, the length, and the width is 3. All right, good. So I'm going to just add the length of all the sides, all the sides. All right, so here's 7 plus 3 is 10. Done, done. But I still have 2 sides, mister. They are missing. Come on, we know that this side is the same as this side. So it is just going to be 7 as well. And we also know that this side is the same as the one that is at the bottom over here, which is 3. So it's just 7 plus 3, which is 10. 7 plus 3, which is 10. It's 20. This is how we can find the parameter. It is the length of all the sides. Add them up together will give you the parameter. Okay, good. So now let's move to the next level, which is the rule, mister. Is it all really about counting? Are we going to learn counting? We're not in grade one, Mr. Ahmed or KG. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? Here is 1.5 and 2. Uh, we're just going to add and that's it. Sometimes, yes. And it happens a lot actually. In many of the questions, you're just going to add and you're going to count and that's it. But in some other questions, they might ask you to use the rule. So here, to find the rule of an area, it's just area equals LW. Area equals LW, which is length times width. Sometimes they give the length and the width other names, which is base times height. it doesn't matter. Consider it a nickname. So sometimes they say A equals LW, other times they say A equals BH. Okay, which is here length. It's the 6, the 3 here. Look at this. We found here that the length is 3. 1, 2, 3. And we found that the width is 2. 1 square 2. So to find the area, it's length times width, 3 times 2. So here also the same thing exactly. If I'm trying to find here the length and the area of this shape here, oh, mister, it's 7. The area, not the parameter. Now I'm thinking about the area. It's 7 length multiplied by the width. Oh, look at this. Here is the rule. Length times width. 7 times 3 is going to be 21 centimeters squared. Okay, guys? Good. All right. So that's about the rule of the area. LW, A equals LW, or A equals BH. Okay. Here is about the rule of the parameter. Parameter of a rectangle. How can we find it? They just told you instead of adding 7 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3 again, which is going to give you 20, they just said to you, you just add one length and one width, which is 7 plus 3. That's it. Mister, it's going to give me 10, not 20. Yes, but then you're going to multiply by 2. So it's length plus width, then multiply by 2. Why do we multiply by 2? Because I have two lengths and I have two widths. So it's just 7 plus 3, then multiply the answer by 2. And here is the rule of the parameter of a rectangle. Or sometimes, as we agreed in the area, the same thing exactly. They give them some nicknames. The length, they call it base. The W, they call it height. So it doesn't make any difference at all. You add the length and the width, then you multiply by 2, or you just give them another nickname, base plus height, and then you multiply by 2. All right, question number here is the other thing here. If I want to find the area of a square, Mr. Ahmed, well, the area of a square is just the same exactly like the area of the rectangle. So it's here. Here it is. Here I have two squares. So it's just, of course, if they're giving you square grids, you can count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Or it's just here. I know that this is 2, and I know that this is 2. So it's just 2 by 2, which is also 4. And this is the parameter, the area. Okay, length times width. Oh, here we don't have length times length and width. Both of them are the same. As we agree, the length is always the longest one, and the width is a little bit shorter. So I can't call them length and width. We just call them side. So it's just S times S, which is S squared. That's if they ask you about the rule. If they don't ask you about the rule and they just ask you to calculate the area, it is the same exactly like the rectangle. 2 times 2, which is 4. But if they ask you about the rule, we don't say L times W or LW, we say S times S, which is side multiplied by itself, because both of them have the same length exactly. That's the rule. S times S, which is just S squared. All right. What about area of a triangle, Mr. Ahmed? The area of a triangle is the same exactly as the area of the rectangle, but we divide it by 2. How, mister? You see this triangle over here? Close it as if you have a rectangle. Just as if you have a rectangle exactly. Look at this, but don't make it bigger. Which, what do you mean, mister? I mean, don't go further than this. Don't keep going this way. No, just stop here. Why? All right. Just close the rectangle, as you see here. Then now calculate the area. All right, no problem, mister. Area of rectangle is LW or BH. Here, let's make it BH. So here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Ahmed, here it is. 5 centimeters. Here is the length. All right, let's see the width. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 centimeters, Mr. Ahmed. Now find the area of the rectangle. Mister, it's 5 times 4, which is 20. Perfect. Divided by 2, which is going to be 10. So the area of this triangle is 10 centimeters squared. Oh, mister, I need to practice this a little bit more. No problem at all. Let's do it. Okay, here I have another triangle. All right, so let's just draw imaginary sides to close the rectangle. We agreed. Area of triangle is the same exactly like the area of the rectangle, but we divided by 2. So here, let's close it. Just imagine that we're closing it. Oh, shall I go further? No, no, no. The end of the rectangle is here. The triangle, I mean. The end of it is here. So go down to close this. Close the rectangle. We're imagining, guys. You have to erase this after you're done. So, all right, let's count here. This is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7, mister. All right, and let's count this here, or this way or that way. It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here is 6, mister. So what's the area of this rectangle? Rectangle. It is 42, mister. Length times width. 42. Perfect. But I don't need the area of the rectangle. I need the area of the triangle. Okay, mister, no problem. It's the same as the area of the rectangle, which we found 42. Then you divide it by 2. Divide by 2, which is going to be 21. So it's 21 centimeters squared. Did you guys get this? Again, I just finished here the rectangle and I completed it. Imaginary rectangle here. I found the area of the rectangle. I found that this is 7 centimeters. This is 6 centimeters using the squares, the square grids here. 7 times 6 is 42. Divide the answer by 2 is going to give you 21 centimeters squared. So this triangle is 21 centimeters squared. All right, let's finish the next one over here. All right, this rectangle moved a little bit. Yeah, all right, let's continue. The same way exactly, I'm gonna close the shape. Oh, triangle, no problem. I'm gonna imagine that it is a rectangle, mister. That's how we handle area of triangles. I'm gonna imagine that it is a rectangle. And the area here is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4, mister, the length. And here is 1, 2. It's 2, mister. Here is the width. So the area of this rectangle is what? 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, that's the area of the rectangle. Don't forget to divide it by 2 to get the area of the triangle. So it's going to be 4 centimeters squared. 8 divided by 2 is 4 centimeters squared. And this is the area of the triangle. Don't forget to erase what you've done. All right, mister, we've got now the area of triangles and how we get it. No problem. Let's move on here. Oh, this is area of rectangles, which is even easier. We found here the area of the rectangle is what? We learned this. It's 7.2 multiplied by 3.8. Its length times width, LW. 7.2 times 3.8 is going to give you that area. All right, what if I wanted the parameter, mister? It is the same rule that we learned here. It is L plus W times 2. So just here, add 7.2 and 3.8, which is going to give you 11 exactly. So here's this plus this. Length plus width is 11. Then you multiply them by 2. That's to find the parameter, which is 22. That's it. So again, to find the area, length times width, 7.2 times 3.8. Of course, guys, you learned and you know how to multiply them. If you wanted the area, the parameter, we add them up and then we multiply the answer by 2, which is here 7.2 plus 3.8 is 11. Multiply the answer by 2 is 22 centimeters. That's the parameter. All right, mister, and here is another rectangle, but they didn't give us any measurements. Here they gave you the measurements, as you see. They gave you the measurements, so it means they're not going to give you these squares that are inside that they're not going to be there. The page is going to be empty, not look, it's going to be like this exactly. They're going to give you that just so this is 7.2, this is 3.8, but in other questions, They will give you squares like here. All right, so let's continue. Here, they want you to find the area and the parameter. No problem. I know that this is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Okay, good. So the area is going to be what? Area is going to be 8. And don't forget to find the unit, to write the unit, centimeters squared. Centimeters squared. All right, what about the parameter? The parameter is going to be 2 plus 4, which is 6. But 6 I multiply by 2. Length plus width, 4 plus 2 is 6. Multiply by 2 is 12, and I just write only centimeters, not centimeters squared. The last question over here is to find the area. They don't want here the parameter, just the area of this shape. All right, the area of this shape, I will have to count the squares that are inside, because we know that area means the space a shape can take inside. So here it can take, guys, put a dot or anything and not to count them again. So here it's 1 square. So 1, 2, 3. Let's take the complete ones first. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Did I finish? No, I didn't finish. So I finished now 8. 8.5. 9. 9.5. 10. 10. So now, mister, the area here is 10 centimeters squared. Look, guys, this is how you do it. So don't forget the halves. So it's 1 complete, 1, 2, 3.5. And here is another half, 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5. And the last half, so 10. 10 centimeters squared. All right, let's keep going. Of course, guys, please, if you haven't stopped to study, you must stop here. You see this page, you must look at it. You must study this, study how to count. The rule is very important, the rule of area of rectangles, the rule of parameter of rectangles. You must study this. And here also, you can go back. I'm going to even erase this for you over here. I'm going to erase it. And now I want you to even work this out on your own right now, or whatever you're going to do to study, please. All right, the next one over here is asks you to complete the following table. They're saying here shape 1 has length of 6 centimeters, and they're saying that they want you to complete. The width is missing, the area is missing, but they gave you the parameter. Okay, so I know the length and I know the parameter. I have to find the width first. Okay, no problem, mister. The parameter of a rectangle, well, here they're going to give you, I forgot to write that these shapes are rectangles. We know that the parameter of a rectangle is the length plus the width. And then I multiply the answer by 2 to give me the parameter. We all know this. So length plus width multiplied by 2 will give you the parameter. They told you that the parameter is 20. Try to do this, guys, on your own. Pause the video, then come back to check your answer. So here they told you that the parameter is 20. Length plus width, you multiply by 2 will give you 20. So I know, mister, that the length plus the width must be 10. Must be 10, the length and the width together. Why, mister? Why do you think 10? Because they told you that the parameter is 20. So the length plus the width, you multiply by 2 will give you 20. So 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. 10 is the only number that when you multiply by 2 will give you 20. Okay, so now I know that 10 is the length plus the width. Good, I have the length is 6, so the width is exactly 4 centimeters. Okay, so here is 4 centimeters. 6 plus 4 is 10. Length plus width is 10. Multiplied by 2 will give you the parameter, which is 20. All right, great. What about the area, mister? Ah, come on. I have the length and I have the width. I can easily get the area right now. It is just going to be what? 6 times 4, length times width, which is 24 centimeters squared. Mr. Ahmed forgot here to write the squared. That's the area. All right, let me erase this. Here it is. It is 4 centimeters. Okay. What about this, Mr. Ahmed? They gave you the width and they gave us the area and they want the length and the parameter. Oh, come on. Area is 27. It is length times width, which is something times 3 to give us 27. It is 9 times 3. 9 centimeters. Look at this. If I erase this, here it is, 9 centimeters. And what about the parameter, mister? No problem. It is, guys, pause the video, try to work this out on your own, then come back to check. It's length plus width, 9 plus 3, which is 12. Then you multiply the answer by 2 to give you 24. So here is the parameter, is going to become 24 centimeters. That's it, not squared. All right, find the parameter of the following regular shape. It is a regular shape. Oh, what? What's the meaning, Mr. of regular? Regular means regular shapes. A regular shape means all the sides are equal. All the sides are equal. Okay, so this is 5.2, and this is also 5.2, and this is 5.2. Yes, all of them are 5.2. And this is what I mean by regular. I know. How did you know, Mr. Ahmed, that all of them are equal, that all of them are 5.2? Because they said to us it is regular. They wanted the parameter of this shape. I know, Mr. Ahmed, the parameter is adding all the length of all the sides up. The length of all the sides up. So it's 5.2 plus 5.2 plus 5.2 plus 5.2 plus 5.2 plus 5.2. Come on, we're not going to do this. Don't waste your time. Don't waste my time on adding 5.2 1 zillion times. No way. So here, what are we supposed to do? It's 5.2 how many times? Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So 5.2 times 6. 5.2 times 6. Here it is. 5.2 times 6 is going to give you 31.2 centimeters. Of course, so we're going to write over here centimeters. All right. The next thing here is the triangle, is just giving you here like the names of the shapes. Here we know a triangle is any shape that has 3 sides. You must know also that any shape with 4 sides is called quadrilateral. You must study this, guys. You must study this page. Any shape with 4 sides is called quadrilateral. Any shape with 5 sides is called pentagon. Any shape with 6 sides is called hexagon. You must memorize them. Any shape with 7 sides is called heptagon. Any shape with 8 sides is called octagon. That is it. You need to memorize them. That's it. Mister, do they have to look like this? No, no, no. You can just count to the sides. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sides, so it is called heptagon. If all the 7 sides are equal, the 7 sides have equal lengths, so that means it's a regular heptagon, which means all the sides are equal and it has 7 sides heptagon. All right, the last page over here, and the last thing of it in this video, it's very easy, by the way. It's just here called the properties of the 2D shapes. Here we learned about the triangles that we have: isosceles triangle, we have equilateral triangle, we have scalene triangles, acute right angled triangle, and all these things, they were mentioned in another video, and we studied them. All right, we're not going to take the properties of any other things over here. It's just enough to know that a pentagon is 5 sides and hexagon is 6 sides, but we need to learn a little bit more about the quadrilaterals as well. All right, we have here some shapes. The rectangle, you must know that the properties of a rectangle, it has four right angles. That's obvious, Mr. Yes, they might ask you to list the properties of a rectangle. So you need to study this very, very, very hard. So here it says to you, so just to remind yourself, guys, the first property is always about angles. The second property is always about parallel sides. The third property is going to be always about equal sides. So again, the first property, that's in all the shapes except the parallelogram, the trapezium or trapezoid, it's much easier. So the first property is always about angles, and then about parallel sides, and then about equal sides. All right, good. That's in all the four, um, the coming four shapes. All right, what about the angles here? What's so special about the angles? Angles, all of them are right angles. You must study this, guys. Angles, then talk about the parallel sides of this shape, then talk about the equal sides of this shape. Okay, all of them are right angles, mister. This is the first property of a rectangle. Good, excellent. What about the square? All of them also are right angles, mister. So the square, here I'm talking about the angles, which is the first one, guys. I'm still here. The first property of the square, also all the four angles are right angles. What about the parallelogram, the rhombus? Okay, this is a rhombus, and we're going to learn the difference. The rhombus says here about the angles, only opposite angles are equal. Only the opposite angles are equal. So this angle with this angle, they are equal. Also this angle over here with this angle over here are equal. The same thing also with the parallelogram. Opposite angles are equal. See, guys, it's very easy. Rectangle and squares angles are exactly the same. It has four right angles, four right angles. Rhombus and parallelogram, exactly the same. Opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal. See, here it is. So opposite angles are equal. Opposite angles are equal in rhombus and parallelogram, but squares, all the four angles are equal and they are right angles. Okay, mister, that's very easy about the angles. Leave the trapezium alone. Okay, so what about the parallel sides? All right, that's easy. We learned of the parallel, they go the same direction exactly, in which they will never meet. They will never meet. If I keep going from here and all the way up, they will never meet. Why? Because they are parallel. Parallel doesn't mean they have the same size or the same length. It just means that they're going in the same direction exactly. And if I extend these two lines, they will never meet. Okay, so here, what about the parallel sides, mister, which is the second property? Here, it says it has two pairs of parallel sides. So here is yes, one pair, which is here this one with this one pair of parallel sides. And I also have this one and this one. So two pairs of parallel sides, exactly the same like what? Like the square, two pairs of parallel sides. And exactly the same like what? Like the rhombus, two pairs of parallel sides. And exactly the same like what? Like the parallelogram, two pairs of parallel sides. Whoa, mister, that is so much easier than we thought. Okay, so what about the last one over here, which is the equal sides? Equal sides, no problem. Equal sides here, only opposite sides are equal. Only the opposite sides in a rectangle are equal. Only opposite sides. Okay, but in a square, we all know all the sides are equal in a square. All the sides are equal, which is the same exactly like the rhombus. All the sides are equal in a rhombus. And the parallelogram is the same exactly like the rectangle. Opposite sides only are equal. Opposite sides are equal. Guys, you must study this. You must study this. You must look at the shapes, understand them, and remember that there are three properties for each shape. The first one is always about angles. The second one is always about parallel sides. The last one is always talking about the equal sides. And remember that the square and the rhombus, both of them, they have four equal sides. All the sides are equal. The last shape over here is the properties of the trapezium or the trapezoid, which has only one property that I want you to know. It has one pair of parallel sides. This side and this side, they are parallel. This is the only shape that you're going to find has only one pair of parallel sides. Rectangle, two pairs of parallel sides. Square, two pairs of parallel sides. Rhombus and parallelogram, two pairs of parallel sides. All the four shapes, two pairs of parallel sides. But the trapezium, only one pair of parallel sides. Now, the perpendicular, guys, perpendicular here is this. It means the perpendicular here means that they have right angles. These two lines, when they meet, they make 90 degrees. When they meet, they make 90 degrees. That's what we call perpendicular. And the last one over here is the kite. This shape, you just need to know it. It looks like this, and it looks like the kite that we fly and we used to play with when you were younger. It's called a. That's it. Thank you so much, year six, and see you soon.